seconds. How long has it been? So any type of skin issue, any type of skin issue is always related to the gut. The problem is, do you have a healthy microbiome, first of all? Are you digesting correctly? Are you getting bloated? Are you getting any type of diarrhea effect, constipation effect? If none of these are happening, sometimes then your body is not actually pulling the nutrients correctly to actually fix the skin issue. But most of the skin issue comes from the gut because due to allergies, due to inflammatory foods, due to other than inflammatory foods, sometimes it could be that you have issues with hormonal foods such as dairy, eggs, so on and so forth. But to actually support that, you can take quercetin, 1,000 milligrams twice a day, vitamin E tocotrienols, about 400 IU a day, and I would actually use digestive enzymes before every single meal. So that by itself is going to actually help the gut, but at the same time is going to actually start to pull the proper nutrients to actually help your skin, and that would actually fix the issue. It is going to take a couple of weeks, but you'll start to actually feel a lot better. I was waiting for your live. Hey, Ritik, how are you? Sorry, I haven't been here for a couple of days because I was trying to pack so I can go off the grid, and I couldn't finish everything in time, and the weather was not helping. So I had to postpone it another week, but I am in the process of still packing. So that's why I haven't been able to respond or do very many lives. I haven't done any actually. So that's why. So I hope you guys are doing good. Happy Saturday morning. I know it's about 7 o'clock in the morning my time right now. Somebody did ask me a question about pre-eclampsia. This is actually, usually it's like a high blood pressure issue and pregnancy. Is that correct? Is that what you're asking? Whoever was asking. Where are you going? I am going to BC, British Columbia. That's where I have my small section of off-grid that I've been building a tiny house since last year I started. I finished it last year, but I didn't finish the water, the septic, or the installation. So I'm gonna get that done this year, and then I can stay there the whole year long if I can finish it. But I'll have lives probably more than what I'm doing here in the city. Yes, it is. Okay, so in that case, your magnesium is gonna be like your number one, Sue, your number one supplement. But you have to take magnesium ionic chloride, 200 milligrams every 3 or 4 hours, so you can actually saturate your body. Okay, that's very, very important. And as well, you have to take vitamin D, 1,000 IU per 25 pound of body weight. These are like your top 2 supplements. If it's actually the blood pressure is going up too high, we might have to add nitric oxide as well too. And that's what we need to do. Guys, whoever's been sending me a message, they are being blocked. Part of TikTok, they sometimes block it. So whoever it is, please rewrite your message again. If I don't see it, if I don't respond, obviously it's been blocked. How to use magnesium chloride, ionic, and taurine powder. I did an ebook on that, Dylan, on how to saturate with magnesium. So magnesium, you actually have to saturate. If this is the magnesium that you currently have, if this is the magnesium you have, you take about 20 drops, which is roughly about 100 milligrams, and you mix it with 1 cup of water for the first 10 days, and after that you increase it to about 200 milligrams. And for the taurine, you take roughly about 3,000 milligrams, which is 3 grams of powdered. Whenever I take ashwagandha, I'm not able to sleep. Why? Ashwagandha actually sometimes, that's why I don't like it. It actually, what I've noticed, and over the testing, it overstimulates your adrenals. So sometimes you're trying to fall asleep, but you're not capable of, and actually it'll cause the body to actually go into stressful mode. That's why I don't like it. That's why it does not work for everybody, and I would not really recommend it for everybody, especially for sleeping or stress or anxiety or depression. It just overstimulates the adrenals, and you end up getting restless Why do I need to be in a calcium? Is that what you mean? Calcium surplus if I'm eating enough protein to maintain muscle. And a calorie to maintain see what happened is if you're looking to gain more muscle mass, right? Yes, so protein plays a huge role in this, but as well, it is on your aim. So I have people sometimes, let's say they weigh 100 pounds and they want to reach 120 pounds, but they're still eating the same calorie intake and the same protein intake for a 100-pound person. They're gonna probably get there, but they're gonna get there very, very small amount. So what you do is you eat as much as a 120-pound person would eat. So that's where the surplus comes in. So that extra calorie is going to give you the extra strength to actually, or for powerlifting or lifting, just so you can add more muscle mass. So it could be, and most of the time I always say, add some carbohydrates possibly if that's your goal, or you have to increase your protein. But if you're already hitting your protein at 1 gram per 1 pound of body weight, you should be fine. All you need is just a little bit of carbohydrates possibly. I'm using repair stem cells to address skin issues. I'm interested in your perspective. I think they're a waste of money. Super supplements. I think they are a waste of money. I have a few patients that have tried them and they didn't feel anything from them using them for 6 months. So you tell me if it's actually working for you or not, but that's what I've been told so far. Hey Marek, how are you? I hope you're doing good. Aquamin, magnesium, or marine magnesium. I'll have to check to see if the ingredients, but keep in mind, so what happened is the only reason magnesium is magnesium. All we're looking for is elemental form of magnesium. Hey Sherry, how are you? All we're looking for is the elemental magnesium and how much our body can actually absorb. There's different forms of magnesium, ionic chloride, probably right now there's marine magnesium, there's so many different things. The only reason I like the one I take, which is this one here, is magnesium ionic chloride. It does come with all the minerals. You do need the minerals to actually allow magnesium to actually absorb correctly at the cellular level. So if you have that form, you are going to still absorb, but you're not going to absorb as much. Now, if the marine magnesium or Aquaman magnesium does actually include all the trace minerals and the price is good, I'd go for it. So this is the magnesium, the ionic chloride I was trying before, and this is the one I take right now. Okay, if you guys both can see them. So this one here, I have to take almost 40 to 80 drops, which is equivalent to about 40 drops of this for the absorption rate. So that's why I started using this, because I've noticed the effect in this is way stronger compared to this one. Even though this one is good and it does have the trace minerals, it just wasn't as absorbable into our system or at the cellular level when I did the RBC testing compared to this one. So don't get me wrong, you can try any other magnesiums out there, as long as it does have the correct trace minerals and your body's absorbing it correctly. That's what we're looking for. Magnesium is going to be magnesium. It's just whichever one is going to actually hit our bodies faster and better. Is sweet corn good for us? Sweet corn is man-made. How many drops magnesium ionic chloride per dose? Are we talking about this one here? Dylan, is that the one you have or the other one? Hey Poland, how are you? Hopefully you guys can see. I'm trying to get the screens together. I even thought I have both phones on. Lipoprotein is 142 in a 16-year-old female. That's a bit high. So maybe you could have the hypercholesterolemia genetic. So the only way you can actually reduce that is intermittent fasting and taking niacin would be the only vitamin out there that is capable of actually lowering the lipoprotein small a. And that's what you need to do. 12K vitamin daily with 300 mk. Yeah, it should be fine. So somebody was asking me a question about, let me go back for a second here, about the ulcerative colitis. So the whole idea with that is all about your probiotic, and your vitamin D3 plays a huge in this, and your digestive enzymes. So you do need all three to actually address the issue correctly. For high cholesterol, what to lower it. I did an ebook on that, Rose. If you go to my website, you can download the one for how to lower cholesterol, how to prevent atherosclerosis. I had so many questions in regards to that, and I was given the same answer over and over again. So I just wrote two ebooks on that. So you can go ahead and download them. They're really good price. I did combine the atherosclerosis one and the cholesterol one together. So you can definitely go ahead and download them right now from my website. It would be great. Hey, my friend, cheers from Texas. Hey, Fat Albert, how are you? I hope you're doing good. If you have a nutritional, sorry guys, I'm gonna take one question from here, one question from here. Zinc citrate, any good? Zinc citrate is not bad. It's mostly because of the forms attached to it, which is the citrate. It's mostly good for your gut more than anything else, because the citric acid, it is good to actually support your intestines, and of course supports your kidneys. My favorite out there, if you can get, would be like zinc orotate or zinc picolinate. They still actually absorb in the intestine, but they actually bind a little bit better. And actually with the picolinate, if you have like a really bad zinc status, it will actually fixes it up if that's what you're trying to do. But keep in mind, every time you take zinc, you have to be taking copper, or else zinc will deplete your copper level, Ritik. So what you have to do is make sure the ratio is 7:1. So if you're taking every 7 milligrams of zinc, you take 1 milligrams of copper, but you do not take them the same time, because they actually defeat the purpose. They conflict. So you take zinc on its own with first meal, then you can take your copper on your second meal. And if you don't want to buy a copper supplement, then you can actually get copper cups, and have the water in it and drink that daily. Keep in mind, every 1 liter you drink in a copper cup, you get roughly about 2 milligrams of copper. Is it wise to take K2 supplement if you have a stents? Yeah, you can take it. I take about 500 micrograms a day, Sue. Any thoughts on citrus bergamot? I did a video on that. It's not bad. It does lower cholesterol as well too, but the problem is it is on a long term. So you cannot just use it and within a week or two you might feel good. It takes roughly about 6 to 8 weeks to actually build up into your system. Is taking synthetic supplements and vitamin okay for body long term? You can actually always cycle it if you're worried. And if you're worried about synthetic, you can always detox with zeolite. So it should be no problem at all if you're worried, because most of the stuff that is actually synthetic, you're gonna have like heavy metals possibly, right? So if the heavy metals are actually being stored into your system, then it would be best to do zeolite once every 3 months for about 2-3 weeks, and flush out everything you could. Can we still send you donation? Yeah, 100%. If you go to my main website, I did put the link there, and I do have Duke's picture on it. Would be awesome, would be really appreciated. Can I take calcium and magnesium same time? I would never take calcium as a supplement, Ritik. You could, but the problem is, if you get calcium and magnesium in natural form, that means coming from seawater or electrolytes, for example, like this one I have in my hand, then yes, because it does have its own natural calcium. But if you're just buying the magnesium and calcium on its own, so technically it is man-made. Even though they might have the correct ratio, I highly do not recommend taking calcium at all, because we do not need it. We get more than enough calcium in our body from the food we consume. 7 milligrams of zinc breakfast time and 1 milligram copper in the afternoon, 100%, yes, separate them. What cure for hypertension and blood pressure? Kim, I did an ebook on how to cure high blood pressure. If you go to my website, you can actually download the book, and you can actually see all the information about hypertension and how to reverse it. And at the same time, you're going to be supporting me as well too. What natural cure to clean arteries, plaque? What are cure for hypertension? Just go there, please, Kim, and you can actually view the ebook, and you can actually download. Yes, from natural. If it is from natural sources, Ritik, that means you should actually in that bottle, if it's liquid, hopefully it's not capsule, then you're gonna see magnesium, calcium, and you're gonna see all the other trace minerals. If that's the case, yes. If you don't see any of the other trace minerals, it's calcium and magnesium, I would not take it. Seriously, I would not take calcium. You don't need calcium. We have enough, and we get it from vitamin D. It produces calcium in our body correctly by stimulating our proper thyroid. Which supplement for zinc and copper? You can get any brand. They're all good because there's only about 2 manufacturers that actually create them. It's not like we have 20 different manufacturers. They all come from like the same kind of type of sources. It's just pricing, and it's all about what ingredients they have. But I do have, I think on my website, which one I use. Hi Maurice, thoughts on sunflower and pumpkin seeds as an alternative to nuts? Seeds are okay, they're not bad. They still have some light anti-nutrient, but if you can sprout them, would be good. They're okay, yeah. You can definitely consume them. They shouldn't be a big issue because you're probably consuming very small amount of it, Deborah. Is it a problem to take the same time B1, B2, B3, B6, and B17? No, there's no problem. They're all run under the same family. I know B17 you get it probably from apricot, and the other ones they come in a vitamin B complex, so they're all kind of almost like a water soluble. But the B17, because it is coming from apricot, I would actually take it with food instead. Take it with like your first meal or your second meal. Why do people take B vitamins on their own and not as a complex? Well, sometimes if you're trying to cure a deficiency, this is what has always been recommended. So if you have a deficiency in vitamin B3, and if you take the vitamin B complex, the vitamin B3 in it is going to be such a low amount. So it is ideal you can take the B3 on meal 1 at a high dose, and at meal 2 you can take the B complex, just so you can actually prevent any deficiencies from happening to any of the B complex family. I have capsule form with vitamin K2 and vitamin D from natural source. Yeah, should be perfect. Should be perfect. Probably the amounts is not that high. Correct? Because usually anything you get from natural source instead of being synthetic, it's not gonna be a very high level, which is fine. The only reason they're not very high level because they're more bioavailable for our system. Can I take turmeric safely with kidney stone as it encourages calcium uptake? It depends on the curcumin extraction. So you have turmeric, and some will say like turmeric 95% extracted, some will say 90, 80%. So it all depends on how much curcumin. Keep in mind, sometimes you might buy turmeric and it does not have any curcumin extracted. So sometimes it's almost waste of money. So you gotta check on that, Deborah. And keep in mind, turmeric doesn't do good for everybody. Roughly about 30% of the population can actually handle it, the rest they can't. Natural remedies for constipation. You can take digestive enzymes and fix your acidity level. What can help rheumatoid arthritis? 200,000 IU of vitamin D3. Are you well, doc? You seem unwell. Hoping you're good. Oh, I'm tired. I was supposed to leave Friday morning off the grid, which is yesterday, and didn't sleep really good because all the family, of course, came over. We stayed up till like 1 o'clock in the morning. Woke up at 5. Was ready to take off and drive, and we had like snow and rain, and the road was actually very wet, so I kind of canceled the trip and I couldn't fall asleep again. And now I had to unpack my computer and everything else, so I'm actually like kind of reversed, and now I have to repack again because I'm leaving this coming up Friday for sure now, because the weather is going to be a lot nicer. So totally I'm exhausted. Yes, I am very exhausted. I am very tired, because what happened is I've been helping a lot of people, because I have a lot of people, they book consultations with me. At the same time, you know, I take a break for half hour, I go pack, then I come back and help, then I go back. So it's like back and forth. And at the same time, I have to take Duke for a walk. So it's been kind of crazy. Seriously, been kind of crazy couple of days. That's why I haven't been here or done any videos. What about vitamin B12? It's the same time with vitamin B1, B2, B3. Oh yeah, you could. Definitely you could. Pauline, you can definitely do that as well too. And cheers. Thanks so much for the flowers as always. You've been great. Thanks for the support, you guys. We got 80% of the live goal is completed. That's really good. Awesome. Hey, without you guys, I'm not able to get it done. Cheers to the hat. Thank you. So it's been very, very tiring, guys. Farida, thank you as well. Really appreciate that. 200,000 IU of vitamin D. How often and how long? You do that as a short term. You do that about a short term for about 30 days, but this is very, very crucial. Very crucial. You have to be monitoring your kidney. You have to be monitoring your calcium levels with your doctor. I can only advise you what to do. But keep in mind, 200,000 IU every single day, it's not gonna hurt you, it's not gonna harm you, but I don't know your status. I don't know your status of your kidneys. I don't know the status of your blood. I don't know the status of your calcium. I'm just giving you what they've done back in the 1930s, how they used to actually look after rheumatoid arthritis. They would actually use as high as 200,000 IU of vitamin D3 daily. And of course, they still add vitamin K2 of 500 micrograms. So we're talking very, very crucial and very high dosage to actually get rid of pain. When I had the pain in my hand last year from building my tiny house, I had the pain in my hand for 3 months. So I'm like, do I wait till it heals or do I fix the issue right away? So I took 200,000 IU of vitamin D3 and I took 1,000 micrograms of K2. The pain was completely eliminated within less than a week. But keep in mind, you do put yourself at a slight danger, so you have to kind of be careful a bit, because I do deal with a lot of megadosing. But you have to actually, because you're not locally here that I can help you, you have to probably reach out to your doctor and make sure he's actually looking after you. Make sure you get good sleep when you can. I'll try. It's gonna be tough for this week and next week probably, because once I drive 8 hours and when I get to the tiny house, then I have to actually clean everything and make sure nothing kind of got into the tiny house, like no bats or no mice. I have to actually clean it up and everything. So 8 hours drive, probably about 2-3 hours of cleaning and storing the meat in the freezer, and hopefully the freezer runs and everything. Then I'll probably sleep, wake up the next day, and hopefully I'll be a little bit rested, but I know for a fact I'm gonna be probably beat for at least like 2-3 days. And today I woke up late. Usually I'm up about 4. I woke up, fed Duke, came here. I didn't even get a chance to fix myself up. What is the name of the brand of fermented coconut milk that you use? Oh, it's a Canadian brand. Let me see if I can get you the name here. I don't have any more. I'm out. Coconut fermented milk. It has like 40 strains, 3 trillion. Bacteria. It's a local brand that's made. It's a Canadian brand actually, but I'll give you the name. Maybe you can get it there. I don't know if they actually have it somewhere else. Let me just pull up the website. I'll give you the name, Deborah. I've capsule from with vitamin K2 and vitamin D. Perfect. To decrease. Oops. To decrease. Homocysteine. Oh, you're talking about homocysteine. You're B1, B3, B6 at the same time. So to yeah, you got your, but make sure they are in a methyl form, pollen, and to decrease homocysteine, make sure they are in a methylated form, and sometimes you need to add TMG, trimethylglycine, roughly about 500 to 1,000 milligrams. So the company, it says in, this is for Deborah, it's Nature's Fine, oh, yeah, that's what they have for the name. Nature's Finest Probiotic, and it has the cultured coconut. I'm trying to zoom in to see if there's an actual organic. Oops. Trying to see if I can, about the vendor. Yeah, they're called the cultured coconut. They were launched in 2015, the company. Maybe send me a direct message. I'll send you the link, Deborah. Any advice for people with anxiety? Yeah, you can download my ebook on anxiety and know how to fix it. But Dylan, the best thing to fix anxiety is L-theanine. Thanks, I will. Yeah, send me a message. I'll send you the picture of it, what it looks like. Maybe you can see if you can get it locally. I know it's made in Canada and Saskatchewan, but I don't know if they actually do ship in time. But at least it gives you an idea what it looks like. Maybe there's someone locally that makes it, or maybe hey, you can produce it and start offering to people internationally. That'd be great. Because this is like really, really, I like it because it's one of the only one that actually has that much probiotics in it, and it does actually support the body, which is uh, which is excellent. Do you know about algas calcareous? What would you like to know? What would you like to know? I think it's an algae that plays a role in like the ecosystem, the habitat, and everything. They use it for as a supplementation. I can look it up to see if they actually have like a specific supplementation you're requesting about. These supplements they come. Oh, it is. It's a natural source of calcium. It's good for magnesium and calcium. Okay, it's a natural source of calcium. Um, I'm just gonna see if there's like a website. Let me see if I can find the website. What is the best way to heal a dry, itchy skin? You gotta drink omega 3s from cod liver oil. You need 1 teaspoon per 25 pound of body weight. It's a dryness in the system. So they got algaecal.com. Maybe that's the one I'm looking at. Maybe that is that the one you're talking about, Ritik? Maybe that's the one they got the algae calcium. Can't stop bone loss. Oh, it's 100% natural. That looks amazing. Marine algae and bone loss. I don't know if that's the one you're taking or not, but that's the one that actually popped on my screen. That looks good, actually. What's wrong with bubbles with a meal? It prevents your conflicts with the acidity of your gut, so therefore you're not going to be able to break down the food correctly, cha. And that becomes a very issue where you're not getting proper nutrients. It's a natural source of trace minerals. Yeah, I hope I'm looking at the correct one, the correct website. So I got a website called algaecal.com. Is that the one you go to, Ritik? I should check it out. Maybe reach out to the company, see what else they can have. What else they have. I wouldn't mind trying it. Hi, I have hereditary higher levels of cholesterol, but my calcium score test came in very low. Cholesterol are irrelevant whether there's atherosclerosis issues or not. Cholesterol is just a sign as an antioxidant, just to kind of advise you that there is something going on in your body and it's time to look into it. Doesn't mean that if you have high cholesterol or hereditary, it's going to actually cause issues in your system or cause heart attack. It's mostly just a sign telling you, hey, there could be something being oxidized or there's something strange happening in your system. So doing a cholesterol test is pretty much irrelevant if you don't get all your other inflammatory factors checked as well. All vitamin B I use are Solgar, perfect. Yeah, if you enjoy the brand name and it's working for you, definitely stick to it. Sparkling water is good. If you're gonna drink sparkling water on its own, it's fine, but not with meals because it will actually conflict with your digestive juices. So therefore, you're not going to be able to absorb the nutrients correctly through your intestines. The cultured coconut also seems to be in Canada to ferment milk. Could you see what you what you think? The cultured coconut also seems to be in Canada for fermented. What do you mean, Deborah? It is a Canadian product. Can you not stop taking cholesterol meds all of a sudden? You could, but your numbers are gonna spike, and you can definitely maintain that with other natural ingredients. Thoughts? That's the company name. Yeah, that's the company name. Yeah, sorry, the cultured coconut. Hey Joey, how are you? I hope you're doing good. Thanks so much for the comment. Cheers. What natural supplements can I take to lower cholesterol? Go ahead and download my ebook, Pete. I do have an ebook on how to actually control your cholesterol and how to actually look after your atherosclerosis. I have them both combined together. You can actually download them because I do have few things going on sale right now. Joey, you are still here. You are still alive with us. I'm glad to hear you're doing good, and I hope you're getting the supplement I mentioned. Is that the company you use? That's the company, yes. That is a company. Do you know what regurgitation of the heart valve is? Yes, I think we talked about it last time, didn't we? And did we talk about it? You forgot? We talked about it, I think, on live a couple times. I sent you a direct message. I don't know if you're getting it because what's happening is sometimes my messages get blocked. But in regards to regurgitation of the heart valves, usually your valve, how can I say this? The valve degeneration, sometimes age related, like wear and tear. It is like sometimes wear and tear, and it becomes thick and stiff and calcified, and that's where that issue comes in from. Sometimes it happens from rheumatic fever. Sometimes it could happen from a heart defect. Sometimes it happens that people are born with it. Sometimes it happens due to our diet. And so imagine you have a bad diet going on, overconsumption of processed, overconsumption of sugars. The same time you have a genetic where your LP small a is above normal, where you have actually a genetic that you have already an activated dirty gene that can cause issues. So that's why this happens, and when it happens, it's very hard to fix unless you start to kind of take some mega dosing. And taking mega dosing of certain products, you have to be around the doctor, or they have to constantly be doing some blood testing just to make sure nothing kind of go above and beyond. Especially when it comes down to vitamin K2, because you'll be taking in the upper 25,000 micrograms a day, which is 25 milligrams. You'll be taking about 100 to 100,000 of vitamin D3, and you'll be taking your nitric oxide to vasodilate your arteries. So there's a lot of things to actually fix it, but the problem with it is it does cause fatigue, does cause shortness of breath, does cause palpitation, chest pain, dizziness, because you're losing a lot of electrolytes as well too. So there's a lot of things you have to look into, and it's a big job to actually look after that, and it's very dangerous. So yes, while you are on medication, you can start to take some of these supplementation to actually help, and hopefully you can actually reduce. But if it's already too late or multiple arteries have been affected, it might be tough. So the only thing is, you'd have to be for the rest of your life taking nitric oxide twice a day, so you can constantly vasodilate your arteries, so you're not causing any collapsation, you're not causing more thickness, because probably the blood flow going through, instead of being at 100%, is probably about 5%, 10%, or 20%. So you're gonna start to get a numbness in your body, you're gonna start to get dizziness, you're gonna start to lose vision, you're gonna start to have cognitive decline. So there's a lot of things will actually happen just because of lack of blood flow. Even thought, people will tell you take cayenne, take a ginger, all that stuff. Yes, they do help, minor, very minuscule, but you need to give your body time to heal. And the best way to do it is by taking some of these supplements. And if I was you, because it is very dangerous, sorry to say that, Joey, I would actually do like a 7-day fast every 3 months, just so you can actually let your body heal, but give your body some raw form of trace minerals and other things to actually heal itself. Elemental dose of magnesium and glycinate. Yeah, the elemental dose, as long as you have good enough elemental dose, keep in mind you need anywhere between 50 to about 200 milligrams of elemental. And some magnesium glycinate carry it, some don't. Like for example, I'm using a magnesium glycinate that I take before I go to sleep. It's every scoop has 5,000 milligrams of magnesium glycinate, but when you look at the real ingredient, this actually has 4,500 milligrams of glycine and 500 milligrams of elemental. The problem is taking 500 milligrams of elemental in one shot, you're probably going to have like a major soft stool effect, because your body's not going to digest all that 500 milligrams of elemental. Your body's probably maximum 200 milligrams, and that's saying that your intestine has like a perfect pH level. So that's why it's always good to actually take small doses, kind of work your way up, but maximum like 200 milligrams of elemental would be ideal. More than that is just almost like a waste of money, and it's going to end up causing more of a flush effect, like a diuretic effect, where you end up losing more minerals. Thoughts on coenzyme? Are you talking about coenzyme Q10? It is actually a very essential, anybody that has heart issues, because that's the only way you can actually strengthen your heart muscle, and it's going to actually enhance your mitochondria. It is good to actually have it mixed with acetyl L-carnitine as well too, especially for anybody that has issues with their aorta. Very, very important. So you take about 300 milligrams of coenzyme Q10, 3,000 milligrams of acetyl L-carnitine, and I would throw in creatine or D-ribose. Does less sleep on long-term basis affect heart health? Yes, it does. That's why there's a big issue. A lot of people that actually work at night or have like a graveyard shift, there's a high percentage, roughly about 90% of them have a heart attack. And unfortunately, I did it for almost 3 years when I was young, because in my head thought, why the hell do we only work like 8 hours a day and we sleep, 12, whatever, we get home, we relax and we sleep. So we're only utilizing our days, like say 6 hours or 8 hours a day. Why not utilize our day 20 hours? So I started doing that when I was very young. When I was 19, 20, all the way to about 22. Then I did it again when I was about 27 to about 30. I worked the graveyard shift. So I would work during the daytime. I go home, I sleep for 2-3 hours, and I do another shift of another 8 hours. So I would work 16 hours a day and barely getting 4 hours of sleep. So after 2-3 years, it does affect your heart, because you're not releasing good growth hormone. You're not allowing your body to recover. You start to actually lose a lot of nutrients from your body, and you start to actually not give your body enough time to actually recover. So what happens after? Yes, you could experience a heart attack, because your body, when you sleep, that's when you recover. So if you're not sleeping, how the hell are you gonna recover? So for a short basis, if you're doing something, yeah, it's fine. But sometimes if you're doing it for long term, if it's money issue, or sometimes we have something in mind we want to do or we want to accomplish, so we end up overworking, don't do it. It's not worth it. You might make good money, but you will actually struggle for the rest of your life, that you'll actually, the money you made, you're going to go ahead, turn around and spend it. And I've been there and I've done it. And that's why sometimes you'll notice you're aging faster, you're getting more fatigued, more tired. Your body can only do that for so long, but doing it for almost 3 years, take a break, then do it again for 3 years. I did it for 6 years straight. It's not good. And so far, I've had 5 patients who actually experienced heart attacks, and I do help them. And guess what? They all been working night shifts for the past like 8 years, and they actually experienced a heart attack. Their health is perfect in their mind, but when you look at the papers, when you look at their blood work, everything is all over the place. I have to go. Bye-bye. I need you. Take care, Joey. We'll talk soon. Just gonna check if there's any other questions here from YouTube. I'm homozygous CBS gene. I'm always VDR folk. What should I be doing? No methylation. You'll have to actually, I'm not going to answer that question, because to get into a lot of the genes, and we'll actually have to go into a lot more detail, because you're probably obviously having either skeletal abnormalities or blood clotting disorders. This message is for probably the healthy groove. So you might have these issues. I don't know if they've been activated or not. I don't know how your homocysteine, fibrinogen, your methylation is. I don't know if you have issues with your eyes or not. There's a lot of things we have to actually look into. I do one night shift a week. Is that as bad as I sleep before I go and do? See, the thing is, if you can get away, if you can stop doing it, I would. Is it really worth it? The problem is, they claim every one night not sleeping correctly, or every night staying up all night is equivalent to about 6 months of abusing your health. So I don't know how true that is, but I would maybe look into that. What are some things you should ask your doctor to check when getting a blood work? It depends what is your goal, Eduardo. It depends on your goal. It depends what you're trying to actually accomplish and what you're looking after. So all kind of varies. There's a lot of different blood work you can ask. Keep in mind, there's about 15,000 blood work we can get. But all depends on your goals. So if your goal is heart, then I can tell you what to get for the heart. If your goal is for specific hormones, then I can send you ones for hormones. But all depends on your goal. Don't mix your hormones and your heart and your organs in one test, because it's not gonna make sense. So have them all kind of separated and kind of have a goal in mind, what you're trying to actually recover from. Chris Hart. What type of blood work to get for your heart? Send me a message. There's a list I can give you. Then once you get it, probably it's good to book a time and talk to me, because your doctor is not going to interpret it for you. Had pericarditis 10 years ago, and they said it was viral, but couldn't prove anything. So you're probably getting, like, say, chest pain, you're getting friction, you're getting issue with breathing. They can't really prove much unless you do like further testing. Do people do blood work by sending samples online too? Some companies do. Some companies, they actually offer online blood work where they ship you the kit home. You actually poke yourself in the finger and they do like a dry blood test. Some do that, and some they do work, but not every single test. Yes, extreme chest pain. Yeah, so the only thing you can do, do you have issues with breathing as well too, or coughing? I think that, yeah, for CK, like the only thing you can do is take heavy load of ubiquinol, which is coenzyme Q10. I would take magnesium, ionic chloride, and nitric oxide, so you can vasodilate all your arteries. Pain subsides when leaning forward. All blood tests were fine, so they knew this were pericarditis, but couldn't prove it. Yeah, I would start with the magnesium and the vitamin D3 to see if that would actually help, because all it is just inflammation issue that's kind of causing some of these things. Doctor gave me chloroquine for 6 months, and did it help at all? Probably it's not gonna help much. I just started, and then Clarison, what do you think about it? Just trying to remember. What is it used for? I'm trying to actually figure that out. Start in Clarison. What kind of is it? It's a drug, isn't it? I don't think I have information on it. Is vitamin D3 or K2 good for the eyes too? Vitamin D, it is gonna help the eyes. as well too. But for the eyes, you need astaxanthin, zeaxanthin, taurine, lutein, bilberry. All these are actually excellent for the eyes. It's a new injection like Repatha. Okay. Yeah, I haven't heard of it. I know about Repatha and stuff. I just haven't heard of Inclaris. Here, let me look it up. Is it new? Similar. It's not coming up. So alternative to Repatha. You take it, what is it, once a month or once a week? Hey Nancy, how are you? Hey Marie, good morning. Seeing my doc today will show them the blood work you told me to get. I will keep informed. Yeah, keep me informed. Let me know how that goes and let me know what happens. Because you need... It's still cough every morning as if I'm still smoking, even thought I quit 10 years ago. I was told to take NAC for the coughing. The coughing, yeah, NAC and acetyl-L-cysteine, but you gotta take about 1200 milligrams about 3 times a day. That would actually help with the coughing. It gets rid of the mucus, only if there's mucus. But if you're just coughing because of the inflammation issue, it's not gonna help a whole lot, but it's still gonna actually detoxify your body, which is great to have as well too. Every 6 months you do it. Okay, that's good. How is it working so far? Is it working really good? I'm curious about it. I haven't really had any patients take that, which is kind of good. Perfect, Maria. That's good to hear. Good morning, everyone. Oh, Raymond. Hey, you new here. Just wanted to ask, what should I be taking as type 2 diabetic? Much love and respect from Yonkers, New York. Cheers, Raymond. How are you? For diabetic, if you're type 2 diabetic, it does have to play a big role in your lifestyle. But as a first initial step, what I would do if I was you, if I was in your case, I don't know how many meals you have, whether you have 1, 2, or even 3 meals. I would take all my carbohydrates and shift them to last meal of the day. So that means in the first phase of your day, you're putting your body into like a slight ketosis because your body's depending on let's say fat for fuel. But what I would do is I would add berberine of 500 milligrams for the first 10 days, and after that you can actually increase it to 1000 milligrams, so 500 milligrams per meal. So this way you actually become more insulin sensitive. That would be like your first initial step. Once you actually accomplish that first initial step for the first 10-15 days, then what I would do is I would start to skip your carb meals every other day, and that would actually help. But definitely, and I'll give you the opportunity so you can start to do some intermittent fasting. So there's a lot of ways of looking at this, Raymond. It just depends on how you want to accomplish it. How to make the heart stronger. Go watch my latest video, Free Palestine. I did mention about 12 different supplements that would actually help the heart stay strong. I was told 1 tablet of NAC 600 milligrams a day when waking up on an empty stomach. That's 600 milligrams is very small dose and it's very irrelevant. You gotta take minimum 1200 milligrams every 3 or 4 hours to actually assist in the issue you're actually experiencing, especially if there's any type of mucus in the lungs or you wanna enhance the lungs capacity. 1200 milligrams would be ideal. 600 milligrams is irrelevant. It's not gonna give you much. It'll probably barely be bypassed through the digestive juices, and you'll probably have a very, very small amount left. Have you heard of the new for the big C? Complete BS. There's a lot of complete BS bullshit stuff. I haven't heard for the. I'll look into it to see. Does neurokinase have an effective dose? Concern that may reduce the cap on soft cap and actually be counterproductive. What are your thoughts, please? So anytime we start to actually look into neurokinase, or let's say vitamin K2, or let's say lumbrokinase, for example, I think that's what it's called, we know for a fact they can remove the calcification, right? And we know the fact they can actually fix that. And there has been numerous studies that has shown taking 8,000 FU or taking 25,000 micrograms of vitamin K2, for example. The problem is, if you're soft plaque, that actually has a cap on it, if you actually remove that calcification and you expose that soft plaque, you can cause a heart attack. So it's better to actually get a blood test, such as MPO, myeloperoxidase, or LPPLA2. These will actually predict whether you still have soft plaque or not. So if you have soft plaque or arterial inflammation, you need to fix that before you actually go on a high dose of neurokinase or a high dose of vitamin K2. Does that make sense, Ian? I have a lot of mucus daily, especially in my throat and nose. Then yeah, 1200 milligrams of N-acetyl-L-cysteine. I would do it every 4 hours. Soursop, opinion please. I haven't tried soursop. I've tried B17, which is coming from apricot. Works great, and I've had some people actually claim they have benefits. I cannot tell you how great it works. It's just what I've heard from. But definitely, if you're worried about for prevention, it's good to have. But if you have issues, there's other things you can use. Animal products. Can't say the names right now. Thoughts on canned fish and olive oil as a snack is garbage, Deborah, because what happened is the fish is actually cooked in a can, and the can is heavily toxic, has a lot of heavy metals in it. And at the same time, what makes us think, a lot of influencers talk, well, eat canned fish, you'll get your freaking omega-3s. No, you don't. It's already oxidized in a can. Keep in mind, the polyunsaturated fat is highly oxidized on air and heat. So obviously it's going to be highly oxidized already. So I would never do that at all. And not in olive oil. Even thought olive oil is healthy, but as well, the olive oil is going to be oxidized. So stick with water, and maybe if you want to have canned fish, maybe once every 2 weeks is fine. But if I was you, I would say no. MPO and LPPLA needs to check first things taken high dose. Yes, so check your MPO level, Ian. Check your LPPLA2. Make sure they're both good and like optimal levels. Then you can start taking the other ones. Now, there's other inflammatories you can definitely check just to make sure there's no inflammation in the body, such as HSCRP or homocysteine or fibrinogen and or OXLDL, oxidized LDL. These are good to check, but your MPO and PLA2, these will tell you whether there's actually soft plaque or inflammation in the arteries. So I would check these first prior of going on, let's say, neurokinase or lumbrokinase or vitamin K2 are a mega dosing. Keep that in mind. What can someone do for arthritis? Why does someone get it? Oxalates. It's mostly oxalates and nightshade vegetables that causes a lot of the arthritis issues. So what you can do to overcome that, you can take borax, you can take vitamin K2 and vitamin D3, which is excellent. Keep me updated, Diane. Let me know how that goes. Is it okay to drink ginger tea? Yeah, it is okay to drink ginger tea, 100%. 100%. Ginger tea is a good anti-inflammatory for the skin and the gut. It's actually really, really good for your digestive juices, which is amazing. So definitely I would use it. Lumbrokinase or neurokinase better. Well, they claim that lumbrokinase is actually about 100 times stronger than neurokinase. The problem is I can't really tell you much on it. I have not used it myself, but the only reason I would actually use lumbrokinase against neurokinase is because it's not derived from soy. Borax, vitamin K2, what else for arthritis? Vitamin D3 as well too. Thoughts on B12 shots? Can I get them every form? Yeah, you could. If you're low in the vitamin B12, you could. Just make sure you do a checkup on your vitamin B12 levels. Is it dangerous to have too much in the sun with all K2? No, it's not dangerous. We get plenty of vitamin K2 from eating eggs and cheeses as a natural form, guys. So definitely it shouldn't be an issue. Guys, keep in mind, I'm only gonna stay here for another probably 20 minutes because I do have an appointment with one of you guys coming up where I have to read like 120 blood markers. What are the blood markers to check for plaque? For Lala, LPPLA2 MPO. Bring on the blue Stilton. Oh, 100%. Cheers to that. I just bought some yesterday so I can take with me off grid for the first couple of weeks when I'm there till I find a local place there. So vitamin D with 2 together for other eyes. Yeah, they do work. I like to take them separately because you need like a high dose of vitamin K2. Is China ginger bad? It's not what I can't really say. Like every country has their own way of actually growing things. It's in regard the source, right? Is the source good? Where it's coming from, China or not? You know, they could be cleaner than North America. They could be cleaner than European countries. So I cannot say, you know, whether that country is bad or that country is good or whatever it is. Every country, they have their own way of actually growing things, and we have to actually respect every country how they grow things. But it's all about the source. Is the source clean or is the source not clean? So that's what the issue is. And like Nancy says, you can grow your own ginger. So if you're able to get, you know, a good organic ginger, you know, within 180 days, because I've done it before, you can actually grow up to like 10 pounds roughly. I think mine grown almost like 10 pounds of ginger. Got confused on magnesium doses. What's the difference between elemental and regular dose in milligram? Elemental is usually infused with other forms of magnesium, so it's actually absorbed better into your intestine. That's all it is. But the other forms, sometimes they put it there because each form will give you certain things in. Like some forms will help you relax, some forms will help with gut issues, some forms will help with cognition, some forms will help with the skin, and so on and so forth. But the elemental is what we need. The problem is they all have very, very low elemental, except specific ones that you actually have to check with the company and ask what kind of elemental they have and how much. And the other form will actually allow the elemental to actually be absorbed better. And I found the one that I take, or the one that I recommend, which is the magnesium ionic chloride, it actually has a very high level of absorbing. You and Leon John Reno, the professionals, could pass for family. Great energy and great demeanor, also great information. Thank you, Raymond. I really appreciate that. I just subbed so I can get the great helpful information. Have a blessed day. Cheers, and thanks so much for the support. I really appreciate it. And you guys have a good Saturday as well too. I know I'm gonna be leaving soon, guys, just because I have an appointment at 9 o'clock, which is roughly in about 45 minutes, but I'll stick around for another 15 minutes before I get ready. When taking vitamin D, how long after should I take K2? Well, you can take them the same time with the same meal, because they both need fat soluble to be actually absorbed. So definitely you can take them the same time. Very helpful session, Maurice. Thank you, Ian. Cheers. And you guys make sure, if anybody missed out on some of the previous questions, this will be actually recorded on YouTube, and you guys can always go back and watch it. And you guys from TikTok would be greatly appreciated if we can get you guys to subscribe on my YouTube channel. That's the least you guys can actually support me with, and or book a time so I can help you as well too. Would be awesome. I know I'm getting a lot of questions right now. I probably missed about 10 or 15 questions on TikTok. They just keep coming one after the other. Ian, thank you. I appreciate that. I know I haven't been here for a couple of days just because I'm trying to pack everything so I can go off a grid next Friday. So when I'm there, guys, and we'll have a lot more lives, and we'll probably do some building there. And you guys can kind of watch and give me some tips while I'm trying to build my little tiny house. Thank you, Deborah. How much K2 in high doses is good? What's K2 good for milli? Well, K2 regulates your calcium, but it depends what you want to use it for. If you're using it for arterial health, you can go as high as 25,000 micrograms, which is 25 milligrams. If you're using it for bone density or other things, you can go as high as 500 micrograms. So it all varies. What is your goal and what you're trying to use it for? Is your YouTube channel under your name? Yes, it is, Nancy. It is under my name. And I'm getting a lot more questions right now on YouTube because in TikTok, a lot of the comments, or sometimes if I'm trying to actually recommend something or a dose, it is getting blocked. So if you guys put your questions on YouTube. I think that would be great, and this way I can respond without worrying about being blocked. Because it happened already a few times within TikTok, and it's still happening actually. So that's why I am behind on responding to a lot of the DMs I get. Drinking green tea gives me diarrhea. Why is that? How can I develop tolerance? Is green tea giving you diarrhea? It is a diuretic, but why is it actually causing a diarrhea? It could be because of your very low acidic in the gut that is actually not able to break it down correctly, and or it could have maybe a toxic effect, or maybe it's not actually produced correctly, or maybe it's not organic. I can't really know. There's a lot of things we have to look into to actually find out why this is kind of happening. Hey Duke woke up. Duke woke up. Yeah, way too much pressure on TikTok right now. It's becoming very, very tough. Duke woke up. I don't know how I'm gonna move the phones here. Let me see if we can see good. What's a good combination of antioxidants to take? Resveratrol. You can take pomegranate ellagic acid. These are like my top favorite. Pine bark, which has pycnogenol. These would be like my top 3, Ian. And I would actually take like I got them in raw form. I take 1/4 teaspoon of each, so I'm trying to kind of reach up to 2,000 milligrams to 4,000 milligrams of polyphenols. These guys would be like your ultimate antioxidant for the body. Okay, Duke just woke up. He wants me. Look at him. Okay. I miss you too. You had a nice nap after you had your little meal. Yeah. Okay. Why are you eating my hand? Is that how we play? My little German Shepherd. You want a stomach rub or chest rub? You want to say hello to everyone? How much vitamin D and K2 do you recommend a day? Well, for vitamin D, you're gonna take about 1,000 IU per 25 pounds of body weight. How to consume honey in the right way? Honey, make sure is raw honey, unpasteurized. I like to actually consume it with last meal of the day, just in case it is gonna spike the insulin a bit. It's not gonna cause any issues. You know, a teaspoon, tablespoon would be plenty enough. Or if you enjoy eating bone marrow raw, usually I take like a bone marrow, I put a little bit of honey on it, and that's how I actually consume it. Actually, it tastes amazing. Yeah, it tastes really, really good. That's usually what I like to do. CK, the message can become in a block. I know you asked me about hemochromatosis. Send me a direct message. I can probably send you some information in regards to that, because there is something to actually discuss in specific. It will take me a little bit longer to actually explain it. If you don't mind doing that, would be great. I know your message came before, it got blocked once. Any tips on getting good gut health? Good gut health is all in regards to the food we eat, anti-inflammation, all that stuff, but anything that has very high digestive enzymes would be great. Anything raw you consume, Ian, or anything that has high bromelain level or papaya levels, that would actually help with the gut. But as well, eating polyphenols as well, they actually convert into the gut to actually feed the gut bacteria. But all it is about having high acidic level in the gut, and then make sure your pancreas is working to actually release bicarbonate to actually have high pH level in your intestine. So therefore you actually absorb all the nutrients correctly. So it's like two things. Digestive enzymes work really, really good to actually break down the food, and sometimes hydrochloric acid to increase the acidity, so there's nothing left in the gut and everything can actually bypass and go to your small intestine. So that would be like the best thing to actually do. whenever I eat chicken, I get diarrhea, and when I eat red meat, things are right. I hate chicken. I haven't had chicken for like almost 10 years because I cannot get pasture raised chicken or anything like that, and I don't trust the sources of a lot of the chicken. Keep in mind, chicken are highly inflammatory. They have like almost like a omega 6 to omega 3 ratios, almost like 40 to 1. So I don't like to eat them. I don't know what's wrong with them. I don't know, maybe that's why they cause the diuretic effect, or the diarrhea is possibly it's not being absorbed. And if it's not pasture raised, don't freaking touch it. Yeah, don't touch it at all if it's not pasture raised, because you're putting yourself in a high risk. Dude, go outside and play. Go outside and play. It's beautiful outside. I have a meeting now. You want some coffee? You're stretching? Guys, I do have to get going. I do apologize. It is a short live video. I do have to get going because I have a meeting here in like the next 25 minutes. But I'll definitely come back tomorrow or maybe later today if I'm not too busy. It depends how much I can. I just want to finish packing. As soon as I'm done packing, then I can spend more time with you guys, seriously. And I know when we are off the grid next week, it's supposed to be this week, but weather was not nice. We'll even do more lives. When you on next, I hope either later today or possibly tomorrow, 100%, guys. In the meantime, you guys have a nice Saturday, and we'll definitely touch base. Get your questions ready. You know for a fact I'm gonna answer every single question no matter what. And this way you guys can pick my brain and keep me focused as well too. You guys have a great day, and we'll chat soon.